¿Cómo está? Ni Kualama? Apa Kappa? How you guys doing? My name is Alex Tchaikovsky. I've been in the industry for 22 years, about the same as Claude. I'm más o menos. And you can see what it's done to me. Hey, so get online. No, actually, that was COVID vaccination, we think. But I'm mainly on the B2C side, but I have worked in the US markets. I've lived in Latin America for a long time. I lived in Europe for a long time, and I've been out here in the world's best and most promising market, which is Asia, as we say generically, and in my favorite town, which is Manila. So with that, Stephen. Jonathan.
Hello, so my name is Jonathan. I've been in the iGaming industry for about 15 years. I've worked for operators. I've worked as an affiliate. I've worked with affiliates. I've worked as a consultant for different operators as well, primarily doing the unregulated markets of Asia. So I would be able to hopefully give you insights on both sides of the fence.
Okay, me, Dovolin. So 2006, I do the reverse than you. I start as working for an operator, and then now I'm an affiliate for Asia. And I think we're gonna go with the flow, and I have a question for you, Daniel. Because you say, yeah, so Pragmatic Play has done some marketing via influencer and everything. How can you do something, or what today the provider does with the affiliates? So in Europe, there's this slot website affiliates, and we have the roadmap. I know I talked already with a few of the providers here, and they send me the roadmap, but there's not so much follow-up. And we have a website where we have, I don't know, 1,000 of review of slot and so on. What else do you do, guys, on educate the player before they arrive to the operator? Because of course, when you have the player is already internal, so they already know what games they want to play, but before that, what do you do for this?
Well, firstly, I'm not supposed to be even here. I've been ambushed to sit in this panel, but from a provider point of view, I think very few providers are actually going down that affiliate route. And like I said, kudos to Pragmatic Play for taking that risk. I think a lot of the providers, especially the European-centric one, are a bit afraid of affiliate, afraid of doing viral marketing, and they don't push their games. They make their games, they pray to all the gods that someone will play their games, and they pray that the operators will take them on. So there's actually very little visibility. I mean, slot catalog is one, but that is a weird sort of affiliate site where you're trying to push a B2B product. There's actually very, very different dynamics when you're trying to push a slot to the player, and there's not enough engagement directly from a provider to the player. I don't see that anywhere. There's a few where they try their best, and then those that do well, like for example, an up-and-coming one that we're trying to engage with is Chili Games. They are from Taiwan. I think the groundswell actually came from them viral marketing to the players and the operators hearing it from their VIP players and onboarding that provider. But very, very few providers out there are directly engaging players on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitch, doing any form of marketing, influencer marketing to players. I think it's for the fear that they get too noticed and they get shut down, because it is, it is gambling, and you can just see whether it's live dealer or slots that the video is so obviously is promoting gambling. So those videos and direct marketing methods will get taken down immediately. But I see that in a crowded space in Asia now, where there are hundreds of providers, if you're a new kid on the block, if you don't do this, your operators and your aggregators won't notice you. And so if what else is there for them if they don't try? They need to try. That's my take.
So you say they are afraid because when you do with influencer, it has too much impact on the national or on the country. But of course, the latest way to do or to bring traffic is social media. Now, conversion rate, you know better what is the player value for this type of traffic, but I still believe from Jonathan and I that Google Ads and SEO are the best player value. Now, if you go to the affiliates, you have less exposition because it's only people who are looking for certain keywords who are going to go there. There's no influencer and so on. So usually they have very low profile on the national or etc. It's not like you don't have you don't have an ambassador who's going to show the Q-Tech games and so on. So maybe the affiliates or the Google Ads you can do will be more low profile, no?
And the other method is, how do you pay an affiliate? Because there is no click-through, there's no real money play. You're trying to advertise a certain category of game. How does the affiliate get paid? Because the provider doesn't get paid.
So this is where you put the operator together, and we create the QR code or tracking system. And when you have a player coming from this advertising, we push them to play to your game. So they have to create a specific bonus for you, only for you. I have a website where we do like a contest, and we try to, the people play for free for your kind of games, and the winner will get a bonus to play your games with the provider. So you have to be provider and operator together with the affiliate. Technically, it's very easy to do. Now, of course, if I don't have the head of operation of both sides, again, the communication is dead, because when it goes to the low level of the employees, it doesn't come up. So, but we can do something for that.
I'm sort of at the opposite end of the spectrum, as usual. I try to be a little bit ahead of the times, and you can tell from the arrows in my back. I'm not always right about it, but sometimes I am. Does anyone have something like this in their pocket in this audience? Yeah, everybody does, okay. So everybody is now a photographer, right? You take pictures of your food, you take pictures of your cats and your dogs, your kids, etc., and everybody thinks they're Ansel Adams. And in fact, with stuff like midlife is what I'm feeling, Midjourney, you don't even have to take a picture. You can just generate it using AI, which is a whole other topic which we could talk for hours about, and we won't. But I really believe, as I said, if you were here last year, and remember my closing remark, if there was one thing I wanted you to take away, it was look at Stake.com's model for affiliates. It's every user is an affiliate. And I reiterate that more and more and more, and I see it, I'm seeing it in various other industries. I'm not seeing it in ours. I'm trying to get my operators to do it, but you put in stake.com/username and you get some sort of credit for that play. And that goes, then you put that on your Facebook, and you put it on your Telegram, and you put it on your WhatsApp, you put it wherever you want, and you will generate players, because there's nothing more powerful than word of mouth. So when I tell you, you're listening to this old guy up here who goes, hey man, take a look at stake.com, because you can do stake.com/username. It's a good model. It's largely how stake.com, that and bribing people on Twitch, build their business up. And other businesses are following it. Even Oren Klaff, who wrote a really great book called Pitch Anything, which I highly recommend, even if you're not pitching anything. But it's a really good book to understand sales, and marketing is just sales to the many as opposed to one-to-one. So it's a really good book to understand. Even he, yesterday, sent me an email, and at the bottom said, oh, by the way, if you want this free bullshit from me, which is 16 slides, that sounds really interesting to me, because I'm interested in what he has to say, all you have to do is share this with one person, and I'll give you my slides. Share it with 3 people, and I'll give you 2 sets of slides, blah, 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 blah. That is the future of affiliate marketing from my limited perspective. There are guys like Dove, who builds great sites, tries to leverage my brand assets, steals my SEO positions, and fair play to them. And in the West, it's huge. In the West, I had operators that 70% of their business was totally affiliates. Casino.org was charging me $1 million a month, okay? And deserved every penny of it, yeah? Absolutely. But here, my operator here, 2.5% of his business comes from affiliates or agents, as we call it here. In China, it's different. It really does vary by market, as we always say. So all generalizations are false, including this one, as Blaise Pascal said. So go ahead.
So why are you so afraid of the affiliate in Asia? I mean, we are like you needed a marketing team. marketing team. Of course, if you go to the agency, marketing, global, e-commerce, they don't understand what we do. We affiliates like us, we are focused only on cash. If you make money, we make money.
Yeah, but
So
unfortunately...
why are you so afraid?
Well, no, I'm not afraid of affiliates at all. And the fact that they're an important part of my channels, what I'm talking about is the relative contribution of affiliates to my operators in Asia, all right? So, and to my operators facing Asian markets, let's put it that way, it's way more appropriate, all right? So, I haven't seen a great uplift in affiliate traffic, in part because my Filipino client, pays 47% taxes to PAGCOR and can't do a 40% rev share. So the only people that really have any leverage with affiliates, like casino.org, are guys that are going to give them 40, 50%, or you can afford to do it. And when you're giving 47% away to the government, as your business partner, which is what they are and should be, and the stuff that we said in the earlier morning sessions. By the way, this has been one of the best conference sessions I've been to in 20 years. Anyways, well, it's because BP's here. I mean, that always makes it. But and Dove, and Jonathan, and Daniel. Anyways, I digress. I really believe that individuals as affiliates is the future of it, as opposed to these affiliate big guys like casino.org. And as the Asian market, the most important market in the world, I'm going to remind you of that again, it's the hardest market in many, many dimensions, because in South America, everybody's habla español. But here, you have to deal with all the localization efforts for sure. And as they said, India is all about live dealer, and Indonesia contributes 40% to pragmatic plays, slot revenues. You know, it tells you volumes and volumes and volumes about the nature of the individual markets. I had Vietnamese food last night, and boy, it tastes nothing like Thai, nothing like Philippines. Philippines food tastes nothing like anything else in Asia, or in the world for that matter. Jonathan's gonna cut in here.
So one roadblock that I noticed, especially on the operator side, is their inability, or at least unwillingness, to try something different, to try something new. Because I remember many moons ago when I was working for an operator, Asia-facing operator, my manager at the time asked me to reverse engineer one of the top affiliates, what he was doing to make, to make that much money, because he was making upwards of, I think, $200,000 a month. And he cloaked his traffic source, so we could barely see anything. But still, I was able to find out what he was doing and tracked it down to the traffic sources that he had. And funny enough, in relation to the earlier discussion, he was actually just buying porn traffic. This was 10 years ago when porn traffic was still fairly new, I guess, in Asia when it comes to iGaming as a traffic source. So he was making, a ton of money off of it. So what we did then was to propose that we do it internally. We can buy traffic from porn sites ourselves, but there was such strong pushback from upper management saying, it's not going to work, it doesn't work, whatever. But we pushed through, and we were able to get some campaigns through it. And funny enough, it took us 6 months to squeeze and fine-tune the campaign, but from upwards of $350 per deposit, we were able to squeeze it and bring it down to, I think, less than $70 per deposit from adult traffic. So, but it took a while, because especially during the first 2 months when the upper management was saying, we're just spending too much money here, we're not getting the results we want, we'd rather just stick with the tried and tested, let's go with the affiliates. And that is what the affiliates have over most competitors, at least for Asia, is the affiliates are not afraid to try different things. Like right now, when I do research on SEO, a lot of black hat SEO sites don't even care to build websites anymore. What they will do is they will poison other websites, from government sites, education sites, to even big websites. I've even seen poison pages inside U.S. government sites, and they don't even have links to their website anymore. I mean, these affiliates are poisoning these websites just to build their brand. And then after a while, lo and behold, you can check their brand name on SEO tools to see how much search volume they have, and they built such a strong search volume for their brand name. And the affiliates will, of course, have most of the time outposition the operators for their own brand names because they do better with SEO and all the other voodoo that they can do. Like, I'm sure Dove is well aware of how this goes.
I'm gonna have a question for you, Bibi. So if we do like, we leave the branding for you operators, usually you are the one to do the branding, and we do more like Google Ads, SEO, media buying, social media. What do you expect from the affiliate in Asia? What would you like us, a part of the good player value? Because it doesn't matter if I bring you 200,000 clicks or 200,000 sign up, or if you cannot convert at certain rate everything, at the end the only thing you have to look is my player value. Of course, some has volume, so you can have some affiliates gonna have, let's say, 10 brands, and to one brand they're gonna send a player value at $2,000, and to another one they send a player value at $45,000 up to $200,000. So, but you, when you see all your affiliates, what do you expect a part of this? Because again, we are the marketing team to give you feedback. We have this list, I mean, we have all the data of all your competitors. We know every bonus. We know what you don't do well, where you don't do well between the clicks to sign up to first deposit, deposit to your NGR. We know what is wrong on your landing page and so on. And it's super difficult to tell you what to do because again, we go back to the corporate. So of course, if I'm the only one to tell you about something, you don't listen. It's like you, if you tell you something, you have, I don't know, 300 operators, you're gonna wait at least at 70% of them tell you the same before you make a change. And here we go back communication. So we have the structure, we all have the structure. Then how can we communicate better?
So how to communicate better?
Or what do you expect from the affiliates?
Okay. The consistency. That's the biggest problem we've always had with affiliates, because unlike Dove, if you want to find affiliates in different countries, it's, first of all, you're having problems finding them. Second, you have to compete with other different brands. They're giving higher revenue share or maybe CPA, and then some European brands coming into Asia, they've got a huge budget to burn, they'll pay in CPA instead of rev share. So today, for maybe this month and the last 2 months, this affiliate in India was doing very well. He was bringing me 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. And then on the third month, it's zero. And we contact him and say, why, what's wrong? Say, XXXX casino is giving me a higher rev share, or they're giving me a hybrid deal. So consistency is something that me as an operator, we have faced for a very long time working with affiliates. Whereas if you work with, like you, Dove, it's much easier because we can communicate easier. But with affiliates, we got like maybe, like in India alone, we've got how many hundred affiliates? We can't exactly go to each and every one and say, what happened, what happened, what happened, what happened. So consistency has always been a problem. So touching on that, that's why, like what Jonathan mentioned earlier, we are creating our own channel itself, because because from the affiliate side, I took the knowledge and I brought it to the operator side and said, instead of us spending budget on hiring affiliate managers and affiliate people to go out and find more affiliates, why don't we take this budget and the commission we're paying the affiliates and put it into our own websites, into our own SEO team?
Amen.
So, I mean, and when you get good content websites with high traffic, like especially ours, we can actually become affiliates to other brands, and we can actually, cover the costs. We can justify the cost of hiring the team, the content team, the developers and everything to have those content websites. So I've always been pro affiliates. I've always loved, because I started with affiliates itself, and it got me into the passion of into online casino. But things have changed so much, and there's so many competitors fighting for the same amount of affiliates, and there are brands that I do not wish to name that are giving obscenely high revenue share to the point they are not making money, they just want that brand awareness, whereas we can't do that.
So when I used to be an operator, we did, the best way to do was to take the small one and help them to grow. Give him some cash flow, avoid carryover, be sure our conversion rate. So I know like in the CS, you have a team who handle your organic traffic. Then you have a team who's gonna handle the big affiliates. And be sure that the conversion rate from sign up to first deposit is well for this big affiliate. But then you have a lower team for the small affiliate. Don't forget, a small affiliate is small. Is small today, but for you, but because maybe it brings 70% to another brand. So I have this problem where I found out that if I send 200 sign up to this brand, they convert, let's say 5. But if I send them only 10, they also convert 5. So it's like in the system, there is someone in the CS, we convert 5 CPA, is good enough, because they have also this story about they don't pay me if I don't do minimum of 3 affiliates. But of course, when you do sign up to CPA, if the company is below even 25, doesn't make sense to me. Because when I compare all of them, is they have the same traffic, how can I have one who convert at 75 and other 2% or 10%? So
yeah, we haven't exactly abandoned the entire affiliates. I still have a very strong passion for that, and I believe, like you said, they may be small today, but they will grow and they will become big. But I just think the affiliate industry, the market in Asia is still not as matured as in Europe or in America as well. So it will take time, but I don't sign the paychecks, my investors do, so they want results fast. So that's why we needed to change our mindset, and we needed to divert some budget to creating our own content. But we were still, honestly, rely a lot on affiliates because they also have the know of the land, they know the players the best, and we rely on them for feedback. Not only our customer service, as I was mentioning earlier, for feedback, we also rely heavily, like you said, on the landing page, what's the problem, what players like, what they like, and you guys will be telling us as affiliates, then we will be telling people like Daniel, and then Daniel will go, yeah, it's a long chain.
When I go back and don't get me wrong, affiliates are an important part of your marketing mix, whatever country you're in. How difficult it is, what is the future of it? Well, I've told you my vision of the future of it. The first thing I will do, the first thing when I have a client that says to me, oh, let's go into Thailand, is called Dove. All right, so when I have my issues with affiliates, but there's even a bigger, more important question that you have to think about when you're thinking about affiliates. As I usually say, you have to peel back the onion, right? Affiliates, you've got a million different player segments, but there are 2 fundamental kinds of players or consumers out there, inner-directed and outer-directed. The guys that are finding casino sites that are responding to the SEO are inner-directed players. They want to find a place to play baccarat if you're in Asia, or they want to find a live dealer that's topless, or they want to find a good slots game from OPA, perhaps. They're inner-directed, right? And they are your best converting players and probably your highest value players, but they're only a segment of the market. There's a whole other segment of the market that affiliates aren't going after, and that's where your brand comes in. And that's why it's essential that you build your brand, in part through affiliates, in part through your Bollywood stars, if you can prevent them from getting arrested. In part through I think last year you talked about TV ads for beer where they can't show, what is this, Summit? They can't show Summit, so they show something else, but everybody knows it's Kingfisher, right?
Surrogate advertising, they've caught up and they've
caught on that too? Yeah, that's all right, great, thanks. You know, I'm sorry that you're still not available as a consultant and you're an operator now. We miss you, BP.
I want to put back Daniel in the loop before he goes to sleep. Okay. I know you do internal bonus or internal marketing between the provider and the operators, but I tried to, we never saw you, like your team of affiliate, to give that promotion live into the affiliate you have or the marketing. Is it because it's only exclusive for internal player, existing player, or is it because the technology that you use to be able to just play to a specific game cannot be linked to the tracking system because of the back end of the aggregator, but it's not here anymore, or something like that? I always question myself, like I see you do internal once, but doesn't go to the future player?
I think for that question, the providers, especially providers that do direct integration with operators, do foot a portion of the cost. They just don't pay you directly. So for example, if there's a special deposit or price drop or campaign that's running, but provider specific, providers typically would foot a portion of the price pool, and it's the operator that comes out to talk to the affiliate and say, we got to do this thing in line with this game. But we are never your direct paymaster. However, the cost of this campaign is actually subsidized by a provider, because the operator would never foot the full cost of a campaign seeding the jackpot or seeding the prize pool. So effectively, there is a cost sharing between a provider and a operator. It's just that the provider would never usually engage the services of an affiliate directly. So I hope that answers your question. It's not that we're out of the ecology. We are still part of the ecology. The paymaster is still the operator.
I've seen providers even go a step beyond that. Yeah, great providers do provide tournaments and help feed that, or jackpots help seed that, and those are all great and relatively easy things to do for the providers to do. But our friends at Real Time Gaming, for example, used to provide versions of the games that we could put on affiliate sites. So they don't go to the affiliates, but we, working closely with our affiliates, and that is essential to be successful with your affiliates, is you have to work closely with them. You have to stay on top of them. You have to watch what they're doing. You have to add value and help them add value in that player journey, because it's all about, our entire industry is about providing players with a positive experience. If you do that, you make money. If you don't do that, you will fail. And that's if you're a gaming provider, if you're an operator, or an affiliate. You need to give that positive experience through the whole player journey, and then and only then will you win.
And speaking about affiliates as well, you can be a brand. You will build the website, you build the entire, touching back on user experience, the user journey itself. We don't have a large enough test players to know if the journey is suitable for the market. That's when the affiliates come in, because the affiliates themselves will have their own players, and their players can actually go through and say, oh, this part is unnecessary, it's an additional registration, why? And then they'll drop off. So that's why you can never drop affiliates. Affiliates is a very, very important arm of your marketing. But like I said earlier, I just hope that the Asian market will become more matured. And then, why don't you head up like a workshop or something, and start training people?
Because I used to have like the sub-affiliates. And so usually it's always the problem is you don't eat where you poo. So when you are in Vietnam, don't do affiliate in Vietnam. If you're in Thailand, don't do Thailand. So it's really complicated for them. So usually they use, I use my structure to protect them. But even, it's like the old time 2005, usually they are all geek, and now I can see some of the affiliate became like a company, but it's still 2 or 3 friends, and they do that, and usually they want to do that for 2 or 3 years, make a lot of money, and then they buy a farm and or a boutique hotel in Thailand or in Vietnam, and they're gone. So that is why also it's hard for you guys, because you have to invest, and which one you're going to invest to be sure it's going to structure a company and stay for long term. Because I mean, I went like it's like the employees. They come, they go, they come. The sub-affiliate or the affiliate, they come, they go, and how to keep the traction, because they are Millennium or I don't know what is the new one now. Very young, but we need this young generation, because sometimes they really like passionate on this game or on this game. Me, I'm too old to go on a social media and do this. So I pay these guys to do the work we cannot do, but it's still the best after is still the content of the brand of the games, and try to attract the high player value, and that is, but yeah. Sub-affiliate still in Asia, difficult.
Actually, here in Asia, the iGaming affiliate landscape is very cutthroat. Like, for example, if you run, say, black hat PPC ads on Google, and you try to monitor the activity, you will see that you are getting click-bombed probably by your competitor affiliates, because they will try to increase your CPA so that it doesn't become profitable for you anymore. Then hopefully you'd stop doing it, and they can then come in and swoop in and get all the traffic. So behind the curtains, it's a lot like the Wild West. It's like what Bhavesh is saying. The Asian landscape is not as mature as the European landscape, especially for digital marketing for iGaming. I don't see as much attacking between affiliates for the European market, but here in Asia, it's practically a free-for-all.
Yeah, that's right. Just like what Dov was saying, and it's not matured yet. It is slowly getting there. But I just hope they could be a bit more faster, because my passion is still the affiliates. I started from that. I absolutely love being an affiliate.
You're doing it in-house. That's exactly the right thing to do. You're following your passion. You're delivering a good player experience. You've got complete control of the player experience. Hats off to you, man. I always love sharing a stage with you or having a drink.
I just wanted to prove one more point, how important affiliates can be. When we first entered India a few years back, we didn't know much. We hired a very good team and everything. We were doing okay. But then when we started getting affiliates, the affiliates gave us one feedback on a particular game that is really, really popular in India, except for cricket. And we were like, okay, we've never heard of this game before. I mean, we were dumb. Always assume you're the dumbest person in the world, and ask for help from your affiliates and your local team. So the affiliate said, this game is really popular in India. Why don't you do something about it? And it is because of those affiliates that have helped us, our brand awareness really shot up in India. And it really helped us. And that's why it solidified my passion and love for affiliates. So do not think that you can do a brand without affiliates. You will die. You will still die. It is a very important cog in the machine.
I couldn't agree more. One of the things that Dove said is really revealing and kind of scary and kind of interesting. He goes, yeah, people, they start off as affiliates and they made enough money and now they're good and they go buy a farm and off they go. Unfortunately, what in fact I saw in Thailand was affiliates are getting really good and they go, fuck it, I'm going to become an operator. And SwissSoft and DST, and there's a million places where for $2,000, bang, you're an operator. Good luck. You know, when that first $1 million backrack guy hits you, you'll feel it. But yeah, now you've got a new competitor that you helped fund. So that's kind of an annoying part of it as well. But I completely agree with BP in that affiliates know things you don't. They know they know channels you don't. They know players you don't. They know things about players you don't, because they see so much of this and get details on that if they're smart affiliates. Now, there are affiliates that just throw your shit up there and you get the clicks and you get the traffic and you watch the conversions and they get the biggest bidders and off you go. But that's why if you are engaging with affiliates, you've got to get close to them. You've got to really, just like operators in the Philippines need to partner with PAGCOR, yeah? You as an operator in Asia need to partner with your affiliates and go drinking with them and take them to KTV and do all the things that you do with a regular client. Because the more you talk to them, the more you'll learn from them and the better your business will be, because you had an affiliate helping you.
So is there anything else you guys would like to bring up? If not, we'll just go to the questions, because I just noticed we've got about 15 minutes left and we've got quite a few questions to go through. Okay, so one of the questions on the Hoover app is there any new form of affiliate marketing techniques besides the conventional methods? It's always good to hear the latest form of innovations in the affiliate space. So let's start with Dov.
I was expecting also with the AI and the GPT and all of this, but still for me, because social media, I put all of them together. Then you have the lead gen, so you build the app or you build the website, and you get your own database, and then you can convert this into active player. Then SEO, media buying, Google Ads, but I still don't see any new technology, even with the AI. A part of people use GPT to create content, but they already, like the Google Ads, the last 2-3 years is a disaster for all the affiliates. But so far, no. Maybe Jonathan, I don't know if you saw something.
One thing that I've noticed recently actually is the uptick in marketing strategies that are leveraging on messaging apps, especially for countries where, say for example, China. It's next to impossible to do SEO in China. No matter how good you are, your website gets banned anyway, and nobody gets to click through and then go to your site. So you have to be able to go where a lot of people spend a lot of their time on. And lately, messaging apps have sprouted as a good source of traffic for iGaming.
So sorry, but I mean, that is very old for me. It's like the emailing, the SMS. I even forget about this one, but I have a database of all WhatsApp, all the countries. But I'm not sure the conversion will be very high at all. I think it's even worse than the porn industry, I would say, when you do ads on the porn. But maybe it's depending what kind of database you have. Of course, if someone sends you the database of a brand with active players, then yes, you can. But if you do it directly with the operator, because you're going to lose on conversion rate if you do it through the affiliates. But apart of that, did you see something new for the future after the next 5 years? Something going to come up?
Sorry, to add on direct marketing, how China has evolved this few years post-pandemic is we're back to the messaging, but it's from known friends. So everyone is now an affiliate. If you're a player, you're an affiliate, and you bring your friends in, you get paid a hefty commission. So all the affiliate marketing money is going to players right now. And that's the only way, because if you have a website or you're starting to spam people, the authorities take notice and they shut you down. But let's say BP is a good friend of mine, I've won some money, I recommend a website. It's a bit more gray in countries like that. So they've gone into a multi-level marketing model where every player is also an affiliate. And I think that's working very well. So there's no more, they're cutting out the affiliate as the middle person. Every player has then been converted to an affiliate. If you bring in a friend, you get a special deposit bonus, you get extra bonusing for every X number of players you bring in. And that's become very important in China, where SEO, outright advertising, is banned. Now you have friends, known contact lists on your WeChat that messages you, and that doesn't get flagged as spam because that's your friend.
And that compensation may not even be cash. It could be a 6-pack of Kingfisher. It could be, if you're operating in Nigeria, it could be 2 goats, because these are the currencies of those countries. Yeah, that's what matters. I was running a raffle in the Philippines for a client, and as everybody does, and all the operators have left from here, but and they're giving away fancy cars and new motorbikes and all this kind of stuff, and I'm thinking, it's Manila, it's the Philippines. They're going to have a new car. It's going to be dented in a week. I'm going to get a new motorbike. It's going to be run over or stolen in 2 weeks. It's not quite that bad, but it's damn close. What do players really want? What do players really want? And so I said, you know what? Lazada vouchers. And so I did a deal with Lazada, right? And I got a bunch of vouchers at a discount, and those became my raffle prizes. And I surveyed the players, as we always do, and I said, what would you like to do? What would you like to buy? What would you like to win in a raffle? And the responses will make you cry. I want to buy a new fridge for my mom. I want to get a bigger TV for my dad. I want my kids to have better clothes when they go to school. I want new shoes for my cousin. Amazing, heartfelt, really deep stuff. It's not the Western model where everybody aspires to be in the VIP and get the red velvet rope out and in you go. Not at all. People have basic needs that they realize they gamble. They enjoy gambling. It generates dopamine for them. It's their habit. It's what they want to do. It's what they want, it's how they spend their time. And that's great, they're having a positive experience. Our job as operators are to take care of them and make sure that we do no harm, that we service them properly, that we pay them on time, and that we don't feed them garbage games. So I have a list of games that I don't allow my marketing guys to promote. They're just, no, we don't promote these games because we know they're crap. How do we know they're crap? Because we look at the player stats. Our decisions are made by data. Just like the decision to go and offer Lazada vouchers rather than Shopee was based on data from my players. So talk to your players, and that's how you're going to understand what they want, what they need, and what they want as an incentive to bring you more players to be your one-to-one affiliate.
Okay, so talking about that, the Lazada vouchers, and also doing, like Daniel was mentioning, basically friends introducing friends. There was a question here in the Hoover app that says, what are some of the effective strategies for targeting millennials in this digital marketing campaign? I think these two are very, very good examples. And I would also like to emphasize on what Alex mentioned earlier, introducing players. Once a player joins your website, your platform, he himself or he or she is automatically an affiliate itself. So you can give them like an affiliate link or somewhat like a website or tracking method so that they also can reap the benefits as an affiliate itself. So I'm going to mark that as answered. And hold on, okay. So is there anything else you guys would like to add before we open it to the floor? Hopefully there are some questions. Are there any questions from anyone? I see a hand there. All the way at the back. And
Oh, we're in trouble now.
No, you're not, but it's a very easy question actually, and that is, where do you see the whole influencer and specifically streamers fitting into the marketing mix? Are they rivals to guys like you who are probably more traditional affiliates? And what's the streamer situation in Asia? Is it open? Is it closed? Are there any no-go countries? Are there any countries where it works?
you guys can go ahead first.
Well, I streamed for 300 hours on 3 different platforms simultaneously a year and a half ago. And it was really interesting because after being in the industry a long time, for the first time, I was eating my own product. And it really gave me a huge education in what appeals to me as a slots player. I don't count on that to choose my slots to promote because I look at the data for that. But it's a great way to learn your product. You know, nobody wants to sit there and watch Shenstein, I can't remember his name, for 24 hours a day. He's on 24 hours a day, but nobody wants to watch that. But it's really platform dependent is the answer to your question, yeah? You don't get blocked on Twitch because you're in Malaysia well, you do in China, but outside China. You don't get blocked because you're on Twitch in Japan or you're Twitch in Korea. No, you get blocked by Twitch. And in fact, they threw all the streamers off on Twitch, which was a great platform for stake.com back in the day, 3-4 years ago. It wasn't so great for me. I was fine on YouTube. You know, I got lots of YouTube likes. YouTube doesn't necessarily throw you off either, although you have to be careful how much you promote. So you have to be subtle about it and be subtle with your links and things like that. So there's a whole lot of nuances that you can learn from live streaming. But I do believe that live streaming, and it's not necessarily even of gameplay. That's the key thing. You don't necessarily have to show some jerk playing Orbs of Atlantis for 2 hours, you know, to get an audience. Rather, you should be incorporating live streaming as part of your marketing channels, yeah, where you have an event and you have that Bollywood actress, or you bring Dove in. And have him do a 15-20 minute promo event where he talks about his favorite games, and oh, by the way, because you're watching Dove, you get a free cake or a croissant because you're watching Dove, because you're watching my live streaming event. You get rewarded. Live streaming is definitely part of the future. We've seen it blow up in China for lots of reasons, blow up in a good way, and the rest of the world is trying to catch on, and it's not quite happening anywhere. No one's getting really the traction that they have in China. China is a very unique culture, as I'm sure you all know. As all our Asian cultures are unique. So it's going to be market by market. where people want to sit around and watch these streamers and then be influenced because they see a big win, they see a big news. But they're not going to sit there for hours and hours and hours, and you don't want them to. You want them to go and play on your bloody slot site. You want them to play your games where you're generating revenue, not just watching some guy stream 24 hours a day. Jonathan, I bet you have some comments on this.
Well, the thing with most of these new channels is that there's a disconnect in terms of expectations that operators have. Like say, for example, if you pay someone who live streams and her entire brand or his entire brand as influencer is not really gambling related, the disconnect that happens there is that when an operator approaches them, the influencer, and sponsors them, and they don't see a straight up uptick in registrations and FTDs, they say it's a failure. But the thing with these new channels is that they're more long game, meaning if you want to build your brand, especially new ones, the startup operators, it pays well to not necessarily, if you can afford it, to not necessarily equate these newer channels with direct player acquisition. It might do well for you in the long term, but you have to be able to have the proper processes in place to be able to attribute any upticks in activity, because you cannot just be spending money on these influencers and just say to yourself, it's okay if we're not getting FTD straight up because this is brand building. But then you'd have to be able to measure, are we actually increasing our brand awareness? You have to have tools in place and processes in place to make sure that you're spending your money wisely, and that is not very popular, I guess. I mean, a lot of operators, especially the big ones, a lot of the approach that they do is let's throw more money at it and not really figure out, okay, how well is it working, whatever we're spending money on. They just say, oh, it's not working yet, let's just throw more money at it.
Is the difference between the branding and the acquisition. And like Daniel say, if you want to stay low profile, so provider doesn't do, and if the operator want to stay low profile, don't do it also. So, but is it that influencer or social media for me is the same as the ambassador? Is like the difference between the branding when you create the trust to your players and the rest, which is more acquisition of players. Daniel, maybe something to...
Just to touch the millennial and the social media question, I think there is a place for live streaming, and it won't be taken down at all, or will be only taken down much later. Is the new brands of the new category of games, crash games, mind games, where it's not overtly a 5-rule slot or a table card game. We're talking of like Aviator from Sprite. We're talking of all the crash games where there are mines you choose. It does look very entertaining. It does look very non-gambling. And if you have a Twitch account talking about how to navigate these mine games or these crash games, the regulators and the platform will not associate them immediately with gambling. More social gaming, more fun sort of game, because that's how those things look. And those category of games do appeal to millennials a lot. And that's what the older people here on this panel don't really understand, that the media influencers that appeals to the young generation have to market the games that appeal to the young generation. It's a disconnect when you have a young teenage girl marketing old table games. They just disconnect. But if you're talking about crash games, which is really fun and interactive, then there's that connection. So the content and the streamer must be in tandem. Otherwise, you won't generate recognition. You won't generate any stickiness.
So basically, what I wanted to say has been answered by the four of them already. So thank you very much for this session. I hope you have learned a lot, and obviously all of us are available to be ambushed by you once we've gone off the stage. So just come and say hello if you want, or you want to learn some more. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Salamat po.